But his wife insisted, "My dear husband, if you don't give him my share, this food will feel like poison to me. A wife who eats while her husband starves is worse than a demon. I won't eat it, so it would be wasted. But to the hungry guest, it would be like nectar. Please, give it to him." With a heavy heart, Saktaprastha offered his wife's portion to the guest, who ate it eagerly. Yet the guest still seemed hungry. Next, Saktaprastha's son offered his own share to the guest. But Saktaprastha hesitated, saying, "My son, even animals and birds feed their young before themselves. How can I take your food away from you?" The son responded, "A son isn't truly a son if he eats while his parents go hungry. I fear shame and wrongdoing far more than I fear hunger. Starvation is no sin, but greed is. I will not eat while the guest is in need. My portion now belongs to him." Reluctantly, Saktaprastha gave his son's share to the guest, who quickly devoured it, but still, his hunger was not satisfied. Finally, the daughter-in-law stepped forward and offered her portion. Saktaprastha, worried, said, "Dear daughter, you came to us from another family. We have no right to take your share." But she, the daughter-in-law, determined and respectful, said, "You are the head of this family, and I have witnessed your noble actions. It's only right that I follow your example." Without waiting for a reply, she gave her portion of food to the guest, saying, "Honored Brahmin, it is my privilege to serve you now, as my father-in-law has asked." The guest ate, finally feeling satisfied. He then blessed the family, saying, "May the household that has fed me know eternal happiness." Though the family remained hungry, their hearts were full of joy, knowing their guest was content. Saktaprastha, with hands folded, said to the guest, "We are always told that God is everywhere, but until today, I have never truly seen God. Now, I see him in the eyes of a satisfied guest. You are not just a visitor. You are a messenger of my spiritual awakening." The guest then revealed, "You are right. I am not just a guest. I am Yama, the god of righteousness, and I came to test your virtue. Look, the gods are watching, and Brahma, the creator, has sent a divine chariot to take your family to the heavens." As the family watched, a celestial chariot descended, and they were escorted into it by Yama himself. Flowers rained down from the sky, and the sound of divine drums echoed as the family ascended. The Brahmins listening to the Weasel's story were deeply moved and applauded with respect and admiration. The Weasel concluded, "Great soul, true sacrifice is not about spending lavishly or giving away wealth gained through wrong means. A real sacrifice comes from the honest labor of one's hands. True giving is selfless. To give away what you don't need is no sacrifice in the spiritual sense." When I rolled in the few drops of water that Saktaprastha used to wash his guest's feet, half my body turned to gold. Now, I hope you understand that the sacrifice of the poor Brahmin is greater than any Asvamedha performed by all the emperors in history. The Weasel continued, saying, "Sacrificing the life of an animal is not a true sacrifice. It's actually a sin. If a sacrifice must be made, it should be with offerings like grain that is more than 3 years old, not through the killing of animals." The Brahmins, stunned by this profound statement, nodded in silence, absorbing the wisdom. Yudhisthira, humbled, bowed his head and said to the Weasel, "Great soul, you have shattered my pride and the arrogance of my brothers. I humbly accept your words as truth." With those final words, the Weasel suddenly vanished. Vaisampayana then explained to King Janamejaya that the Weasel was actually the sage Jamadagni, reborn due to a curse. Curious, Janamejaya asked Vaisampayana to share Jamadagni's story. Vaisampayana began the tale. One day, while Jamadagni was milking his cow, the god of anger appeared and shattered the milk pot. Despite this, Jamadagni remained calm and did not lose his temper. Impressed, the god of anger fell at Jamadagni's feet and confessed, "Your lineage is known for its fierce temper. I wanted to test you, but you passed with great restraint." Though the sage remained composed, the spirits of his ancestors were displeased by his lack of anger. They cursed Jamadagni, saying he would be reborn as a weasel. Horrified, Jamadagni begged for forgiveness. His ancestors told him, "You will only be freed from this curse when you prove to a group of wise scholars that they were wrong at the height of their success and pride." Jamadagni earned his redemption by taking the form of a weasel and delivering this lesson during the Asvamedha Yaga of Yudhisthira, finally fulfilling the conditions of the curse.